And we come to the main event of our evening. Why have this? What idiot would book this match? Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin for the TV title. They're two most promising, young, unexposed on other television, homegrown baby faces, and you're having them wrestle. You put Sting, the icon that you've just purchased, in a corner opposite other baby faces. That's insane. And then the two young guys that you have that have the exact same asset, much smaller than their opponents, physical underdogs that won't give up, so they get sympathy when they're faced with a big bully that's bigger than they are. But when they're wrestling each other, besides the fact that they're both baby faces, which is insane, especially at their level on the card, to do this to them and to put Sting against a popular baby face because you're just a fucking moron and don't understand the business. But when you have two guys this size wrestling each other, it completely neutralizes the way you can make their size work to their advantage by being the physical underdog and the sympathetic babyface, and it becomes two teenage kids that don't weigh 170 pounds wrestling each other, and slightly built teenagers at that. And yes, they had a good match because they're good athletes, and they do good moves, but they're both babyfaces. They're both the young, sympathetic, small babyface. There's no reason to have the corner men. Dino Douche was in Jungle Boy's corner, Sting in Darby Allin's corner, because they're both baby faces. Why are you having to watch your guys back against another honorable person? They can work. And when Jungle Boy is not in the goof matches, both these guys' matches are generally good. But it's stupid booking, and it's unfair to do that to these guys. To just diminish the things that make them special and just put them as so. And then they advertise Darby Allin at 170 and Jungle Boy at 157, and it looks the opposite. But now you have two slightly built teenage-looking fucking kids that don't weigh 160 pounds that we're both supposed to cheer for, with an icon in one of them's corner and a fucking idiot in a dinosaur mask in the other one. And this is the TV main event. If this was a medical facility, they could all be sued for malpractice. They took a nice bump. Both of them took a bump over the rail, and that was their break spot. I mean, they all did their shit. They both, I should say, did their shit, and it was the modern shit where nobody actually wrestles like a baby face or a heel. Which may have helped this here because you don't know which one was supposed to be which to begin with, and you don't want to see anybody lose. So since nobody actually wrestles like a baby face or a heel, that helped in this instance. Usually that's a bad thing. I did make a note that Jungle Boy had a dinosaur in his corner, and Darby did too. Sting's not that old. He's not a day over 12 million.
By the way, it is nice to see. I think this is the second time in a row, maybe, no Marco stunt with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
That was what I was going to mention. That is a good thing that they didn't bring Dwarf Dongsucker out to hoke this up like he usually does everything. Has somebody smartened up about his little fucking Weasley ass?
I don't know.
There are rumors going around that he's been a bad boy. I'm not talking about Jelly. I'm talking about the dwarf. But he's obviously a fucking stain on the wrestling industry, so the less we see him, the better. Anyway, Jungle Boy did one of those reverse Hurricane Ranas, dropped Darby Allin right on his fucking head. Jungle Boy hit 3 dives in a row out of the ring and never went for a cover, even after the last one. That's why it's bad habits that he will pick up and not be able to drop because he's working with substandard talent in the roster, not Darby Allin, but in the roster as a whole. Then Darby Allin did a coffin drop on Jungle Boy on the apron, off the ropes, onto the apron, onto the guy. The guy laying there taking it is equally as stupid as the guy giving it. And I say, fuck Darby Allin if he wants to cripple himself. But if I was Jungle Boy, I'd say, well, I sincerely hope you land well because I won't be here when you arrive. That's just ridiculous for a TV match that nobody's going to remember ever. And then Jim Ross says, well, time is running low, so you know that they got to get all their shit in, and they're running late on their finish. So Dino Douche helps Jungle Boy back in the ring from the coffin drop on him, and Sting gets up in his face, Dino's that is, and Dino just kind of doesn't even shove him, just puts his hand on Sting's chest and pushes him back a little bit, and they started rotten fake fighting with neither one of them selling. Did you see that? Sting just, as said, they just start fighting for no reason. It's another thing. When Shitstain was trying to bury Sting, what was it, fucking 12 years ago now, by having Eric Young beat up him and Hernandez and stand over and cut a promo over him with a baseball bat when Eric Young wasn't even on the next pay-per-view and Sting and Hernandez were figured into it. I said, you're a fucking moron. Sting starts a fight with another babyface over questionable fucking reasons to begin with and clotheslines him, and the guy just fucking turns around and staggers off. And so you got two babyfaces, one an icon, starting a fight with each other for no apparent real reason, for no provocation, and it looks rotten and fake. And then guess what they did, Brian?
You're really waiting for me to guess?
Yes. I figure you'll get it this time. Guess what they did then, Sting and Dino Douche?
They fought off.
That's exactly what they fought off. They just fight out of the building and you don't see them anymore. And then Jungle Boy and Darby Allin went into the finish at 100 miles an hour, and Jungle Boy got his snare trap hold. And guess what Darby Allin did to escape the submission hold? Darby Allin, the babyface champion, gouged the other babyface's eyes. It's the first time I've ever seen a babyface get out of a hold by gouging eyes. And then Jungle Boy got on top of Darby Allin and slapped him straight on the ear twice, hard, to the point where Darby Allin fucking covered his ears up with his hands. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then Darby Allin got a kind of a snazzy leg lock and beat the other babyface with a wrestling move, 1, 2, 3. And then they had an afterbirth, of course, because Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and I know people are now saying, who? What? No, they haven't been on the rest of this program, but they just decided to run out right then and attack and beat up both Jungle Boy and Darby Allin until Jungle Boy and Darby Allin were saved by notorious heel Lance Archer without his heel manager, Jake Roberts.
No, Jake came out.
Was Jake out there? I just didn't notice him because he never actually gets close to these people. I think he's observing social distancing. Jake and the rest of these clowns. So Jake wanders out with Lance. Lance Archer makes the save. Lance Archer, who's been coming out and cutting promos on Sting, and then Sting last week agreed that Lance Archer was a top guy and wondered why he stops and starts. Well, now Lance Archer comes out and saves Sting's protege and his opponent from getting beat up by two unrelated heels. But then they stop Lance Archer, but before they can do anything to him, here comes Sting. He's coming back from fighting off with Dino Douche. We never see Dino again. Why didn't Dino come out to save Jungle Boy like Sting came back out to save Darby Allin and or Lance Archer? We don't know. Maybe Dino Douche is in the La Brea tar pit somewhere because Sting put him there. And Sting strolls out with his baseball bat in his hand, and when people see the AARP member with a bat walking not menacingly, but just kind of strolling toward them, they all run away. And that was the end of the pro. That's where my DVR froze up. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that was everything.
Could you figure out what in the fuck they were trying to get across at the end of that? Who's mad at who and why?
I was surprised about the match, too, and they kept saying, whatever they said, this is fans' choice, or the fans demanded it on the internet. It's the first I heard about it. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about this match until I saw it here. I don't know what was going on. I started out so positively about this show. Page versus Starks. And then we got Penta and his heel manager. But boy, it went off the tracks by the end of it. And it was an all right match too, by the way. For babyface versus babyface match.
Yes. If you're going to have it, it was a good match. It's just the stupidest thing that I've ever heard of to even have that match. And the way that they presented it and the finish and the afterbirth, the guys' actual athleticism with each other, except for the stupid, dangerous stuff they did for no reason, is fine. But you're just a complete idiot to book that or to have it or to promote it or to arrange the finish as such or etc.